Good afternoon. My name is Nick Nikitas, and I'm the CEO and founder of Rosie. And today we're going to be talking about launching grocery delivery. This is an incredibly important topic, and we're really excited to be putting together this webinar video so that you can learn how to bring your store to the customer's door. Today we're going to talk about what the competition is doing. We always like to start with that. We want to be able to see what's going on in the industry and where we can learn best practices to drive growth. We're also going to be talking about how to launch delivery. We'll break it down into two categories: using third-party delivery services, and option two, doing it yourself. I want to highlight some important delivery marketing best practices to grow online sales. It's not enough to just build it and you will come. You also need to be able to grow your program through communication. Finally, we're going to highlight some successful delivery programs that independent grocers across the US are using to grow their online sales. Let's start off with the competition. I think this is a really relevant and new information that just came out recently around who is really winning in the online grocery space. So Walmart is operating in nearly every US state and has just blown the competition out of the water. They have 62% more customers than the nearest competitor. So just look at Walmart. I mean, for anybody that thought Walmart was not going to be able to compete in the online grocery game, they have just taken off. I mean, 2 years ago, they had almost zero online presence, and they kept on warning everyone in the market that all they needed to do was push a button, they were going to be able to grow quickly, and they've done just that. Second closest in terms of online sales is Instacart. I think a lot of retailers responded and went to Instacart as a result of Amazon buying Whole Foods. You see Amazon here almost competing with themselves, right? Two different offerings: Amazon Fresh, that kind of older historic mark that they've been building up over time, shipping groceries from warehouse. Prime Now, offering 2-hour or less delivery in urban markets. Shipt, Fresh Direct, and Peapod holding up the rear guard. Another way to interesting look at this data is to look at it from a market standpoint. Look at how the numbers tell a little bit of a different story. Fresh Direct, very big in New York, but where the market leader Walmart isn't even there. Walmart isn't even in New York, but you've got Fresh Direct holding on to a pretty big stronghold there. But I think this is interesting for independents in different markets across the U.S. to really understand who is their competition in that market. I mean, if you're a Texas retailer, you're probably thinking of H-E-B. I mean, I would say H-E-B is arguably one of the best retailers in the country right now. But Walmart has 60% market share in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 39% market share in the Houston area. So Walmart is a very formidable competitor when it comes to online shopping in Texas. Obviously, it's changing from region to region. You have to know what your competition is doing. This is a helpful chart to kind of look at that across region and across players. Again, don't lose sight of Amazon, both Prime Now and Fresh. Certainly a very fast-growing part of this equation, but I think this is helpful data for us to calibrate and think about as we consider bringing delivery to our stores. Let's start off by looking at Amazon. I think when you look at Amazon right now and Whole Foods, if I had to summarize what they've been doing, it's consistency and speed. They are very, very fast. 2-hour grocery delivery, especially in urban markets where they operate. Amazon Fresh, they're really able to build a lot of core competencies inside the company as part of their warehouse delivery program. They are doing a lot of great work right now. And I think that Amazon's going to continue to grow. They have the wallet and the market share to build this in-house. That's Amazon's approach. When Amazon bought Whole Foods, soon after, Whole Foods got rid of Instacart, and Amazon has been investing in building up their competencies here. And if you look at not just the grocery business, but really across Amazon's portfolio, it's all about building delivery competency. We heard recently that FedEx terminated its delivery relationship with Amazon. FedEx terminating its delivery relationship with Amazon. And what I think they're doing that as a reaction to the fact that Amazon is building these competencies and capabilities in-house. So Amazon is going to continue to get better at this, and they're going to own this process, which is going to allow them to have a very consistent experience from one delivery to the next. H-E-B, Target, instead of building it on their own, they are buying into it. Target bought Shipt. H-E-B bought a company called Favor. Both Shipt and Favor do very similar things. These are companies that are networks of last mile delivery contractors. Shipt operates with a number of different grocery stores across the country. Favor was very, very popular across Texas markets. They were doing restaurant delivery. So what these guys are getting now, what Target and H-E-B are getting is basically a growing delivery network that is serving not only their own needs, but the needs of other retailers, whether they be grocers or restaurants in their markets. And I think it's just an interesting a shift on the strategy that Amazon is doing. Amazon is obviously building this all in-house, building all the software, building the capabilities, building the driver network. You've got a Shift and an H-E-B that is not building it as much in-house as they've kind of acquired their way into it. And I think that was an important move. They moved pretty quickly on these acquisitions so that they can continue to have some control over their destiny into the future. I think this has been a good move for them in terms of protecting and building some moats around their retail assets as they continue to transform into omni-channel retailers. You know, Instacart is providing an inconsistent guest experience. We've talked about Instacart in some of our last few videos when we've done competitive analysis, and I think that with $1.8 billion of financing, $1.8 billion of venture financing put in this company, we continue to see really, really rough reporting about them in the news. You saw this article that came out in July. Instacart hounds workers to take jobs that aren't worth it. Definitely encourage people to look into this issue. You can see this Business Week tweet. If Instacart contractors don't want to take on a gig, they are forced to entirely mute their phone, close the app, or sit through 4 minutes of pinging. It's incredibly annoying. It's coercive to the workers. We also know Fortune reported earlier this year that half of Instacart's drivers are earning less than minimum wage. Just, again, inconsistent experiences with the drivers. There's been a lot of churn. Drivers are not happy with the program. You contrast these types of reports with Instacart's growth numbers, and it just doesn't seem to make sense. How can a company that is second in market share continue to have these issues with their driver networks? I think ultimately this is going to reflect poorly on the retailers, and that from at least what we're seeing in the market, retailers are looking for different options. And whether you're a Shipt or an H-E-B buying your own or an Amazon building their own, Instacart has not been able to deal with these driver issues comprehensively over the course of their 7-year lifespan. I think the leader continues to be Walmart, and I think Walmart's strategy is instructive and educational for any retailer across the U.S. By the end of 2019, Walmart will have grocery pickup from over 3,100 stores and same-day delivery from 1,600 stores, covering approximately 80% and 50% of the U.S. population, respectively. When I was digging in to Walmart's path, and again, I looked at it over the last several years, it's really interesting to see the timeline of how they've evolved into this online grocery dominance over the last really 2 years, but even going back 3 years. In 2016, they started a grocery delivery partnership with Uber, Lyft, and Deliv. Now, in 2016, those would have been the obvious companies to work with. Uber and Lyft had massive networks. They were very well financed. Deliv was an up-and-coming provider. It made sense for those to be the initial partners. 2 years later, they added Postmates and DoorDash. We're going to talk about those two providers even more now. Postmates, in 2018, they did $400 million in revenue on $1.2 billion in food sales, 5 million deliveries a month. DoorDash also operating at massive scale. A very interesting piece of news came out last year in September of 2018. They launched this program called Spark Delivery. Now you can see a screenshot of the Spark Delivery website here on the left. Spark Delivery is Walmart's grocery delivery solution. This is a program where a Walmart associate can become an independent contractor of Walmart, and then they will pick up the order from that store and then drive it to the customer's door. So now we're seeing an interesting shift with Walmart. It's a hybrid strategy. They're using third-party delivery services, but like Amazon, they are now building up their own internal capabilities through this Spark Delivery program. Interesting, in May of 18, they end their delivery program with Lyft and Uber. January 19, they add in new third-party services like Point Pickup, Skipcart, Axle Hire, and Roadie, and they end their delivery program with Deliv. So this is a company that has been learning, they've been testing, they've been experimenting, and they are getting smarter and better as they go along. And I think that they're trying which third-party services are going to work for them. They're seeing what the results are, and they're changing them up. And I think they're staying very current. Postmates and DoorDash have certainly had a huge explosion in volume over the last 2 years. And I think they're shifting out companies like Lyft and Uber that aren't necessarily focusing on the grocery delivery space the way that Walmart needs to hit their numbers. So Walmart is a really interesting. I think what the main takeaway that I want to come out of this is not let's be like Walmart. I think it's more about let's look at Walmart's thinking. Let's be very interested in the way that they are experimenting and what can we learn from that thinking as we apply it to independent grocery stores. So, but how do we summarize this? What's the best delivery model for my store? Is it third party, or should I do store operated? And I think that's a really tough question. It depends on the store. It depends on your business. But I want to provide a little bit of an overview in terms of what I think are some important considerations as you look at these two models. Let's start with the benefits of store-operated delivery. And simple pros and cons list is a great way to look at this opportunity. The pros, it's the store's trucks, the store's drivers, the store's logo. No better advertising than seeing that delivery truck go up and down the street with the store's logo on the side of it. Very, very powerful. The store gets to decide all the pricing. All the pricing decisions are made by the store, whether you want to do a flat rate across your whole trade area or you want to charge more based on distance or if you want to offer tipping or not. That's all controlled by the store. And you really get to control the last mile and the guest experience. And I think that's if there was one reason why to offer a store-operated delivery program, it'd be this. I mean, it's your drivers that are going to be interacting with the customer. They get to hear the customer. They get to speak to the customer. They're wearing your uniform. This can be really impactful. And I think if there's any reason to do store-operated delivery, it's to control that experience. Now, there are some key cons. It's not just all pros. There are cons with store-operated delivery. And I think the biggest right now is if a store's driver gets into an accident, it falls on the store. Not to mention fleet acquisition and maintenance is expensive. You have to buy these trucks. You have to maintain these trucks. You have to repair these vehicles. There are additional costs such as fuel and insurance that are now being borne by the store. There's a lot of logistics involved there. And then finally, the store has to hire and staff drivers. Right now, you've got to be able to provide drivers for the entire day and deal with HR issues if someone gets sick, if they're not able to participate in the day's work. These are all extra sets of logistics that a store needs to be able to manage. And I don't think that's possible for every single retailer. But for those that really do want to control that guest experience and leverage that as a plus-up opportunity, this is a good model for them. Let's talk about the pros and cons of using a third-party delivery service. The first is it's very low cost. I mean, you can launch delivery with no extra cost. You don't have to go and hire a bunch of drivers. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of trucks. You can get started like that. The second thing is you can compete and differentiate. You can really get out of the marketplace and get a competitive advantage. I mean, I think that these third-party delivery services are allowing grocery stores to now get offering delivery faster than ever. And that can be a big differentiator in some marketplaces, particularly when you compare against maybe a dollar store or a Dollar General that doesn't have these services available yet. So for you to be able to come out as a store and offer that is a big deal. You also get to grow your e-commerce user base. There is no doubt that having delivery is going to grow order flow. We see it all the time. Stores that are doing delivery are doing anywhere from 10 to 50% more orders than stores that are only doing curbside pickup or in-store pickup. And there's just increased efficiencies. The more orders you're doing at your location, you're going to get economies of scale from both a picking standpoint and from a marketing standpoint. So anything you can do to grow order flow is going to help, and delivery is one of the best tools you've got in your toolbox to do that. The con with a third-party delivery service is you get very little control of the guest experience, and issues do happen. We've seen it happen. Driver timeliness is an issue. Vehicle or driver appearance is an issue, and driver attitude. You don't have control over these things when you're using a third-party service. Those are on the third-party delivery contractor company. And while there are ways to provide feedback through ratings and come back to the third-party delivery provider, it's not the same as being able to speak to your own driver or have one of your employees work as an independent contractor. I think that's why Walmart is really diving deep in this Spark delivery service. From their perspective, if one of their employees becomes an independent contractor when they're coming home from work, they're wearing a Walmart uniform, they've already been vetted as part of the hiring process, they are operating as an independent contractor, but they're effectively, they are a vetted Walmart employee that's now doing this delivery business on the side. And if you look, Amazon recently made an announcement that they also are doing this Amazon employee as independent contractor for last mile delivery services. So this is a model that's starting to gain some steam. Now, we think the third-party delivery model is important, and we support both third-party delivery as well as store-operated delivery. Currently, we work with Postmates and DoorDash. They're two great companies that are easy for us to integrate and light up delivery service for. From our standpoint, we're agnostic. We're going to end up supporting a ton of these different third-party delivery services because we want to give our retailers the most options and the lowest cost. And also we support, and we have for a very long time, stores being able to operate their own delivery program as well. I think that stores are going to need a full selection of different options based on the markets they're serving and the needs or the seasonality that they're going through at any point in time. So these third-party delivery services are plugged right into Rosie. They're completely integrated. To give a little bit of a drill down on Postmates and DoorDash, and I think these are the two important ones that I wanted to highlight today because these are the ones that Walmart is primarily leveraging right now. They are really the third-party delivery leaders. They're servicing millions of deliveries across the country every month and every year. They're widely available 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Drivers are there in minutes, or you can schedule them out far in advance. They work all across the U.S. I mentioned Walmart, but they also partner with retailers like Chipotle and Starbucks. In fact, Postmates got a lot of news recently because they were announced as the last mile delivery provider for Apple. And their pricing models are pretty much the same. They're all based on the distance from the store, and those fees get passed completely through to the end customer. Now, tipping is something that is enabled for these providers. Tipping is a big part of driver compensation, and it's an important thing for you to think about as well. But these two companies are really the leaders right now in the space as of Q3 19. We enable retailers to offer delivery with a very low-cost solution. And when we say low cost, I mean, again, there's no extra cost for the store to launch delivery. It looks to the store team just like a pickup. The store picks and prepares the order, and instead of a shopper coming to the store to collect the items, it's a driver. It's that simple. And they're just handing the order off to the driver, and then the driver is bringing it to that customer's house. You get to compete and differentiate. It improves your ability to compete in the marketplace and yields competitive advantage. We talked about growing the e-commerce user base. This is critical. Offering delivery is a big way to grow order flow and increasing those economies of scale. Once you set up e-commerce, the more order flow you can do, the less your cost is per order. So getting those economies of scale is really, really important, and delivery is an important way to get there. Customers love delivery. They love easy, delightful, local delivery. I can't stress this enough. Your customers love delivery. Almost everyone in the US right now is using Amazon for e-commerce. When we give presentations at Grocery Talks, and I ask the audience, how many people here have an Amazon Prime account? I would say 97% of the people in the room raise their hands. They have an Amazon Prime account. They've ordered delivery from Amazon. So your customers are Amazon customers. Your customers are delivery customers. And if they can't order delivery from you, they're going to get delivery from someone else. And they would love to shop locally and get delivery from your store. So offering this is becoming part of the guest expectation that all retailers have to fill. And I think it's an important one. And retailers can do it. Postmates and DoorDash have delivery volume that allows them to offer local delivery at very, very low prices. I think we launched a retailer recently where the base fee was $5 and it was $1 per mile from their store. So it's a pretty low price. I mean, you're coming in with a very low price for that local delivery. It's convenient. They provide 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. delivery support 7 days a week. Imagine the logistics involved of having to coordinate that with your own drivers. This is a really useful tool to have in the tool belt. And it's easy to use. The customers don't have to create a separate account. They just have their Rosie account. They can place their order, and it's totally seamless and transparent to the shopper. They place their order, and the order gets delivered. It's just like magic. Now, marketing the program is essential. You can't just turn on delivery and have it succeed. There's certain ways to communicate about the offering that we've seen retailers using that help them be successful. I want to spotlight some of those now. There's 4 main tips to drive your delivery program through your marketing. The first is awareness. Wherever you're talking about e-commerce, wherever you're talking about your store's capabilities, include your delivery offering. Include that offering. Talk about it. Make your shoppers aware of it. Even if your shopper is an in-store customer, sometimes they're going to be busy, or they're going to be sick, or the weather is going to be foul, and they can't make it out to the store. Make sure that they're aware that you can bring the store to their door through your delivery program. Second, Educate. Educate the shopper about why your program is better. If you're competing with Amazon or Walmart, talk about how your delivery is coming from their local store. It's being shopped by people in your community, that they're taking a lot of care in preparing the meat, the produce, the deli. Talk about the differentiating factors of your local delivery program versus your competitors. Be promotional. Offer discounts on delivery during key promotional times. Who wouldn't want to take advantage of grocery delivery around a major holiday when it's too busy to come to the store? That's a great opportunity to start getting those guests to try your new delivery program. Thanksgiving, Christmas, the 4th of July, these holidays work really well. I'll also mention back to school, because back to school is a great time to start getting shoppers used to using the delivery program, especially as like getting the kids ready for class. Testimonials and referrals. Your happiest customers are going to love to give you reviews. You just have to ask. Ways to ask at scale: use your social media platform. Talk to your customers through Facebook. Say, hey, have you used our new delivery program? We'd love to hear what you think. Take a picture, or maybe if your driver's out there, have them take a picture if it's a store operated program. Just do whatever you can to generate that type of virality in your customer base. Happy customers would love to tell the story. You just need to ask. I encourage you, another way that you can do it is look at your most popular customers, the ones that have placed lots of orders. You'll see that on their customer identification information, how many orders they've placed. Use that as an opportunity to say, hey, this is a guest that's ordered from us via delivery 20 times, 50 times. That they would be a great reference customer. Let's reach out and see if they would provide a reference on Facebook and offer to plus up that customer for their reference through a promotion code. Here are some examples of some great retailers and what their delivery awareness messaging looks like. This is Dash's Market. You can see they do delivery videos on their Facebook. They've got different posts in both their weekly ad and on their social media, just making their shoppers aware that delivery exists. Look at the delivery messaging. It's in their brand, it's in their logo, it's in that communication. They're doing everything they can to get the delivery message out to their guests. If you look at Meniere's is a small one-store operator in Big Flats, New York. I love how you've got Paul Meniere, the store owner. He does his videos inside the van. He does it inside the van, outside the van. So he's communicating to you that the van is coming to you. The van is available. We are ready to deliver. It's a great way of just getting that shopper to be more aware that delivery exists, and that this is something that the store really cares about, and it's an offering that they're putting a lot of effort behind it. So I think just having the van showcased here was really a cool way to drive that delivery messaging. Let's talk about a few more retailers that are succeeding in the delivery space right now. I wanted to show a few examples of retailers that are doing store-operated delivery and also doing third-party delivery. And here are some examples that you can use as you evaluate bringing delivery to your stores. And I think these are great examples of how they've applied some of the best practices that we've talked about in this presentation. So let's go through this list. First off, this is Dash's Market. Dash's Market does store-operated delivery. You can see their van here. Beautiful van from our store to your door, parked right out in front of the building. They got some great marketing communications highlighting the van. They are based in Buffalo, New York. Population of that area is 258,000. They compete with Wegmans and Tops that use Instacart. Walmart's Click and Collect program is very prevalent in that area as well. Very large delivery zone. They're supporting over 90 square miles. It's a low-cost service. They're trying to be the low-cost leader. $5.99 anywhere in zone. Free delivery during key seasonal shifts. They're really trying to be attentive to that shopper's needs as they change over time to maintain that customer. 91% of orders are delivery. And the messaging from our store to your door, that retailer branded picking and delivery versus a third party like Instacart, is really important to the way they go to market. So Dash's, I think, is a great example of how they have extended the service, the integrity, the focus on community that is so part of the Dash's brand and ethos. They've now put that into their delivery model. And I think it's made a difference, and they've done a great job engaging and delighting their guests. Garrity's is a retailer in Scranton, Pennsylvania. They have a population of 77,000 around their markets. Key competitors, Wegmans and Instacart. I want to read this quote. Since moving to Rosie, we have more customers and more orders. One of our stores has tripled in order flow, and the other has continually added new business customers since switching to Rosie. This year alone, we've seen a 20% increase in order flow. That's from the Garrity's team. They were using another e-commerce provider before they switched to Rosie. One of the key differentiators that Garrity's does is this hub and spoke model. So they have 9 locations that are sourced from 2 hubs. So the 2 hubs are picking and preparing the orders, and they are delivering out to the spoke locations and also covering all of the customer locations in between. So this is a way that they've been able to aggregate their operations across 2 main stores, reduce their costs, have all of their training and experience around those delivery hubs, and then focus on getting orders out to the customers. 46% revenue growth year over year. 46%, that's amazing. And 4.4 larger online baskets than in store. So Garrity's is doing a great job with their program, and delivery is a key aspect. Again, Garrity delivers, right in the name. Awesome job to their team. Let's talk about Lauers. Lauers is doing third-party delivery. They're using Postmates. Since launching with Postmates in July, they're on track to double their monthly order volume. So they've had fast, early success launching a third-party delivery service. 24,000 people in Pasadena, Maryland. Competitors, Giant Food, Safeway, very fierce competitors. They do delivery within 2 hours. That's a differentiator now. That's a way that they can go to market against those larger competitors. So that 50% increase in order volume since launch is a big deal. And Lauers has just done a great job getting off and running. I think the fact that they were able to do this without any increase in cost, without any increased complexity for their online team, has really helped them grow and do it in an efficient and economic way. Let's talk about Belmont Market. Belmont is a delivery company. They're a grocery store that has done an awesome job with delivery. They're based in Rhode Island, but one of the cool things that they do is a local pickup to Block Island. So basically, they are going on the ferry and dropping off groceries off the other side of the ferry. So it's a really cool thing. Anybody that lives on Block Island can order from Belmont and have access to their wonderful inventory and all the fresh products and local products that they provide, but then pick it up right on Block Island. What a cool way to differentiate. Their average basket size, look at the difference between a pickup order and a delivery. 107 for pickup, 142 for delivery, and 214 for a local delivery that's picked up at Block Island. So really cool job by the Belmont team. You can see their delivery van there. Belmont's just a great store. Small population, 8,400, but they really punch above their weight. They've got a great team behind this store. They've focused on improving and making consistent operations year over year, and they've done an awesome job. Finally, I wanted to spotlight Lake Region IGA. Lake Region is driving a new e-commerce program through this delivery offering. I mean, this has been a big part of their growth. Lake Region was one of the IGA Retailers of the Year in 2018, 8,400 population in Hawley, Pennsylvania. They're competing with Weis and Walmart. We see Walmart's name coming up over and over again. And this same-day delivery offering is a big deal. The fact that they can also deliver in a larger zone than their competitors is helping them grow, and they're putting that local business connection. They're really working with local businesses to make sure that they are the provider of choice. Let's read this quote. "We are extremely happy with Rosie. Lake Region Online has helped us better serve our community. 2/3 of our orders are delivery. Many of our online guests are either senior citizens or vacation renters using the service to stock up their vacation rental." What a cool way to augment the capability. So I think what's neat here is that they're highlighting the opportunity, especially for stores that are servicing vacation areas. This is a big deal. It's a way to make even more convenience for those guests. So really great job by the Lake Region team. And think about that. If there's a way that you can do condo stocking, if there's a way that you can support local businesses by doing a pickup maybe at their stores, that's a new way to augment the capabilities of your grocery store and ultimately succeed in the online space. So ultimately, I think it's all about offering delivery right now. I mean, Walmart is going to be in 1,600 locations, serving 50% of U.S. markets by the end of the year. Delivery is becoming increasingly important, and it is at your reach. You can do this. When you think about offering delivery, focus on these 3 things. If we had to distill the whole presentation down into 3 things, 3 key takeaways, it would be offer convenience and availability. The more availability your customers have to use the service, the better. Everyone is looking for a solution that best fits their lives and needs. What this means is that you want to have delivery available at all times, because guests, their needs change. They could be busy. There could be different things going on in their lives. The most flexibility that you can offer, the better. And that might mean you need to have a combination between store-operated and third-party services, but take advantage of all these. They're really helpful to help make sure that your shopper is shopping with you as opposed to someone else. Be the low-cost option. We have learned that customers do not like fees. They do not like delivery fees. They're used to free delivery. You look at Amazon, you look at Wayfair. Delivery in the online space is typically free. And the way that most of these online e-commerce only companies are doing cost recovery is they're baking in that delivery fee in the cost of goods. So they're doing an online margin. It could be 7.5% to 12.5%. They're baking that into cost of goods, and they're making the delivery for the shopper as little as possible. You want to keep that delivery fee down. Use the other cost recovery tools in your e-commerce toolbox to help increase revenue and lower the cost to your guests. And finally, look for opportunities to plus up your customers. Do something unique with the service, whether they're thank you cards from your guests, a milestone incentive card, so when the shopper does their 5th, 10th, 20th order, they get a free delivery or a free item from your store bakery. Think about offering condo stocking, whatever you can do to grow the delight and the surprise to your guests is going to make a difference, because that's the stuff, that's the extra mile that a Walmart is not able to provide. And that's, I think, where independents ultimately always are going to be able to win, is where they're going to be able to focus on their community and focusing on servicing their customer much more than a national chain or a warehouse store. So I want to leave you with this message. It's an important one. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal broken down into steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed by action becomes reality. Delivery can be your dream, and there is a path to get there. You can bring delivery to your store. It can happen quickly. We've got the plan and the steps to get you there. If you're interested in learning more about bringing delivery to your store, feel free to contact me. You can reach me at nick@rosieapp.com. That's nick@rosieapp.com. I'd be happy to talk to you more about how we can help you launch delivery services. Really appreciate your time and attention, and thanks so much for joining.